Hello. Thank you for visiting. We're SK Advisory, managing a service brand ACP Japan. We're a company in Japan, providing ACP, attorney for customs procedures service to non-resident importers including Amazon's international sellers. Also, we provide international trade and customs consulting services. We'd like to introduce you with useful information regarding ACP, trade and customs issues in Japan. Let's move to today's topic.
In this video, let us talk about the consumption tax, VAT, to be paid when you import into Japan. You will also understand how to refund or deduct the tax afterward. When a non-resident entity uses the Attorney for Customs Procedure, ACP, to import, the non-resident entity becomes the importer in Japan. In this case, the non-resident entity is required to pay 1. Customs duties and 2. Japanese consumption tax, VAT, at the time of import. 1. With regards to customs duties, it is very simple for the non-resident entity to just make payment. 2. As for consumption tax, the non-resident entity is required to pay 10% of the customs value of goods at the time of import. After that, if the non-resident entity sells goods to customers in Japan, the non-resident entity receives 10% of the sales price as consumption tax from the customer in Japan. Let's look at the case that your company is a taxable entity. In principle, the consumption tax the non-resident entity received must be paid to the tax office. Whether you are a taxable entity or a tax-exempt entity makes a big difference in how you handle it. If you are a taxable entity, you must pay the difference between the consumption tax you received from the customers in Japan and the consumption tax you paid at the time of import. But please be careful that only the importer can deduct the import consumption tax. In other words, if another IOR service provider became the importer at the time of import, basically it would not be possible to deduct the import consumption tax. On the other hand, if you import using ACP, means that you became an importer, thus you can deduct the import consumption tax. This is one of the major advantages to use ACP service, not IOR service. You can avoid a separate entity becomes an importer. Let's look at the second case that your company is a tax-exempt entity. If you are a tax-exempt entity, you don't have to pay any consumption tax received from your customers to the tax office. Therefore, you just pay import consumption tax at the timing of import, and you just collect consumption tax from the customers. Now we'd like to talk about how to determine taxable entity or tax-exempt entity. Determining whether your company is a taxable entity or tax-exempt entity is complicated to explain all here. Please contact us individually, we can support the determination. If you are a taxable entity, you must appoint a tax representative separately from the ACP. The tax representative will file tax returns with the tax office and receive tax refunds on behalf of the non-resident entities. We, SK Advisory, are a one-stop service provider of both ACP and tax representative services. If you need support with consumption tax issues, please feel free to contact us.
Thank you for watching this video. Lastly, let us conclude by mentioning our company's strengths. Firstly, we became an official ACP service provider in Amazon SPN, Service Provider Network, as we have experience in supporting many import projects for Amazon international sellers. Secondly, we are a group of customs professionals. CEO, worked for a Big Four firm as a customs specialist, then started SK Advisory to continuously work on customs-related matters. Lastly, we prioritize compliance. Maintaining the service quality with full compliance with Japanese customs law, including the setting of the appropriate customs valuation of the import goods to Japan. Please feel free to contact us at any time.